Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Football Brief podcast. I'm your host, Aaron, all the way over in New York City. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Brad, over in sunny Manchester. We are back with a bumper episode of the Football Brief. Let's go. How you doing, boy?
All good here, man. All good. You?
Cheers. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Holiday season in full swing over here. Obviously, we had Thanksgiving last week, which was great. Ate far too much food, and then Christmas season is now upon us. And obviously, I'm heading back to the UK, which is great. Can't wait. How about yourself?
All good, man. All good. Should we jump in?
Let's do it. So we're going to start off with brief news, as we always do. Head on to brief opinions, then down to brief discussion, and then the last segment today is going to be we're going to give each other a bit of time, bit of therapy time, and we're going to have a rant session. So we're going to have a minute each, maybe a minute 30, depending on time, and we're just going to pick a topic or subject or person, and we're just going to let go and vent about that particular thing. So, without further ado, do you want to kick us off with some brief news, bro?
Yeah, it's not really news, but big shout out to the boys at the Ibrox. You know, traditionally both Rangers and Celtic have struggled in the Champions League. Rangers currently sat ninth, so they'll be going through to the playoff rounds, man. As it stands, just pleased to see.
Good. Gareth Southgate has suggested that his career as a football manager is over, and he could look for a new career outside the game.
Pundit? We'll see. Kyle Walker out until the new year. Hamstring setback.
Out where? In a club? Sorry.
Not good for City.
No, okay. Inter Miami have appointed Javier Mascherano as their new head coach. So they are sticking with their Latin American sort of theme over there, and with Messi and Mascherano and Suarez now looking pretty tasty over there.
Tidy outfit. Again, probably not news to most, but growing up in Birmingham, shout out to Tamworth, drawn Spurs at the Lamb. Hey, I'm sure they'd have preferred to go to Spurs to get the gate tickets, but look, it's the romance of the FA Cup, man.
Massive game, that. Big up the Lamb, big up Tamworth. Played there before, love that. Another quick shout out to Brentford. Brentford can do no wrong at the minute. They've launched a thing called Gen 10, which means that juniors under 10 years old just pay £10 for their ticket for any game. And the same applies to away juniors coming to their ground. Really good initiative. Brentford, again, leading the way for all things sustainable and financially viable. So shout out to the Bees.
Love that.
Any more headlines from you?
That's me done for the brief news this week.
Okay, brief news is wrapped up. Next, we're going to move on to brief opinions. I'll let you lead, bro.
That's cool. Yeah, so I'll jump in. First one is some of the major stakeholders, let's say, within the Premier League: United, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal raised their ticket prices to £66 a ticket for the rest of the season, if you want to go. And that is for people who are members, who have already paid for a membership this season. 66 quid a ticket. Disgusting. What do you think?
So they've raised what, just for members? Or
I think Villa are included in that as well, actually. I think Villa have done it too.
Probably. There's a lot.
They've raised it. So I can only talk about Old Trafford, but depending where you sit, you're looking between probably 38 or 36 and £48 a ticket. So to bump that up, regardless where you're sitting, for £66, I don't even know how much it'd be. Well, you can't buy tickets if you're not a member, so you have to be a member to buy tickets.
Yeah, I'm a bit split on this, if I'm being honest, and it's going to be, I know some people aren't going to agree, or a lot of people aren't going to agree. Unfortunately, with football at the minute and these brand new stadiums or these broadcast deals or player salaries and X, Y, and Z, tickets, there's going to be an increase somewhere. And is it fair that it's ticket prices for the loyal fans? Probably not, but I don't know. Everything else in football is getting inflated, so it's not really a shock to me that then tickets are going to also get inflated. But I do think there needs to be extra care with a certain section of fans. You know, those ones who have showed longevity, those ones who have been loyal. There's a similar issue with Villa at the minute. You know, there's been
Champions League ticket prices.
yeah, exactly. Champions League ticket prices. There's been a few stories that fans couldn't or have been turned away because certain things weren't quite right. And um, look, I partly agree that tickets need to. No, well, I don't want them to go up, but I understand why ticket prices are going up. But I do feel that there needs to be a lot more protection for these fans that have been there for the long term. You know, because otherwise it's like, what's the point? It's almost like a reward system, isn't it? And they're not getting any reward. It's like in any other sort of business or industry or shopping sort of situation, you get rewarded for things, and you know that needs to be looked at. So a bit split, but you know I'm not fully shocked at that. Um, my brief opinion for you, the first one. So there's been a proposal to ban state-controlled clubs from English football. It's been included in the Football Governance Bill. If passed, teams like Newcastle and Man City would need to change ownership to obtain a license to play in England. Um, don't know how you feel about that. Obviously, with one particular club, you're not really having too much interest in. But just as a whole, you know, and looking for the future of ownership for clubs,
I
what do
think
you?
it's right. I think it's right that they put that in. Realistically, how enforceable is it? Not very. They'll sign it over to a cousin, a brother. I mean, the super wealthy of the Middle East are pretty much all related and connected. So, from my side, yeah, I think great that they're putting it in. Realistically, trying to enforce that is going to be very difficult. They'll just transfer ownership within their group and within their circle. But we always knew this was going to be a problem. Hence, we're having issues with Man City suing the Premier League for various reasons now, and the Premier League not really being able to keep up because you're taking on humongous wealth and complete states and regions with royal families and their own hierarchies. So, yeah, good to see, but I think they'll struggle to enforce it.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you.
So my next one for you is, what do you think of Lampard going to Coventry? Good move? Do you think he'll do well?
I think it's a really good move. I don't. I know Coventry fans were happy with, was it Mark Robbins before him, and they saw no need for him to go. Um, I like Lampard. I've always liked Lampard as a player. I've always liked him as a person. He seems to come across well. I like the fact that he, and again, no disrespect to Coventry, but I like the fact that he's, you know, willing to go down the division, and you know, he's been there with Derby, got the jump to Chelsea, and I'm pleased that he's gone back down there because I think he did quite well at Derby. I think Coventry's a good club, old school club for him. Give him time. I think Lampard's good with young players. I really do think he's good at youth and giving them a chance. So I think it's a good fit. He just needs time to establish himself and, you know, to put across his philosophy. But on the whole, I think it's a good move for both parties, and I hope he succeeds because at the minute that generation of players slash managers now aren't doing too well. But I think you got like Marco Carrick in that league. You know, you've now got Lampard, and hopefully we can start seeing some young English managers actually doing a bit, and then, you know, get into the Premier League and doing even better. So thumbs up from me. Um, my second opinion that I want from you is a subject close to my heart and yours in a way. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish. Okay,
Oh, Jackie boy.
Jackie boy. So Shay Given was on BBC Five Live, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, and the topic was Jack Grealish, and they were saying, is he a generational talent going to waste? I just want your opinion on that, and you know, without being tongue in cheek, you know, thinking about the player that he is or was, what do we think about Jack Grealish currently? Where's he going?
Nowhere fast. Physio, a lot. Um, you know, where's he going? God knows, medical room. Um, Pharmacy, new prescriptions. I don't know. Look, the things I saw Jack do at Villa, Absolutely brilliant player, technically, but drive, the way he keeps the ball, the way he draws fouls, draws players in, and you've seen snippets and highlights of it at Man City since he's joined.
Mm-hmm.
I think in their treble season a couple of seasons ago, he was instrumental. He really, really turned up for them in some big games. But he's always been like this. Even at Villa, he never completed a full season. I think if he doesn't get himself fit, he's in trouble of being another Reece James, another Luke Shaw. These really talented players that actually just have been injury stricken and couldn't keep themselves fit to get a good run of games to unleash their full potential. So I wouldn't call him a generational talent. I don't know if I've seen enough of him to coin that term, but I think he's a fantastic player. He's a joy to watch, and it's a real shame that we're not getting to see the best of him at the moment due to injury.
Agreed. Come back to Villa, Jack.
Get yourself back.
Well, that concludes our brief opinions. Next, we're going to go on to our brief discussion, and without further ado, I'm going to get up the football brief spinner. While I'm doing that, you know the drill, Brad.
So we have first topic, Brighton's European charge. Second topic is Van Nistelrooy to Leicester. Third topic, 3 p.m. blackouts being lifted, and the Netflix of football. And number 4 is Premier League initiatives, namely the Rainbow Band.
Current topic. Okay, right. I am now going to spin our famous spinner. 3, 2, 1, and we're spinning. We are spinning away. And today's brief topic is brief topic number 3. I repeat, today's brief topic is brief topic number 3.
Yeah, so it's 3 p.m. blackouts on number 3, and the Netflix of footballs, which essentially covers that in recent news, the Premier League have announced that they're going to be looking to create their own streaming service and supply games directly to customer instead of going through broadcasting channels like they do at the moment, Amazon, Virgin, TNT and Sky.
Yep.
And by doing so, essentially the Premier League is owned by the 20 clubs that are part of it. They will receive a much larger chunk of the share than what they currently receive, is the thinking. And as part of that, the discussion for the 29/30 TV rights negotiations has discussed providing more games and whether or not the 3 p.m. blackout should be lifted.
See, for me, right, I've always thought that this was an avenue that we're going to go down. Since moving to America, I mean, I speak to you frequently about this. Probably the best thing about football out here so far regarding the Premier League is that. So I use a subscription service called Peacock, and I pay like $4.99 a month, $5.99 a month, and I'm able to get. I think every weekend they show every 3 p.m. game, bar like 1, maybe 2, depending on how many games there are. But you at least get the pick from 3 or 4 games that are being shown. And it's so cheap, it's so easy, it's so simple. And I can just flick between games, and then sometimes highlights get shown. So it's this whole package, which is great. I did see our man over on TalkSport, Mr. Jeff Stelling. He didn't seem too keen on this, and I've seen a few other people sort of saying it's going to damage the wider picture of the game. Obviously we've got a football pyramid. What about the clubs below? How is it going to affect them? Which is a fair question, but it was like the manner of his rant. It seemed a bit like, well, this is the times, man. We need to move on with the times now. Most sort of brands or products have their own streaming service. So the Premier League is no different to that.
Don't disagree with that. And I suppose to come back on what you said and play both sides of it. I understand where Jeff's coming from. Obviously, you're in America. So the fact is you couldn't go to a 3 p.m. kickoff in the UK regardless. True. So what Jeff's saying in that it'll, for your casual fan, because I think if you go every week to your club, regardless if they're on telly or not, you can still go to see your club. So we're talking about a smaller percentage of the footballing fan population, the casual fan, that perhaps if a decent Premier League game was on, who they don't support, let's say Accrington Stanley,
Who are
or
they?
in fact
Sorry.
Stockport County. Let's do it local. So a Manchester United fan myself. If United are on, I'll go and watch United. I'll go and watch us at home. If we were on telly, it wouldn't stop me going to the home game.
Yeah.
For your casual fan who isn't a United fan, they might go, "Oh, United are on telly, great." But when United aren't on telly, let's say at 3 o'clock, they'd go down and watch Stockport County. Just to catch some football. So I get what he's saying in that it may affect that, but I think we've got to look at it in terms of, yes, they should do their streaming channel. They don't need to lift the 3 p.m. blackout to do that, because actually, what are we going to be missing out on? I mean, what are these 3 p.m. kickoffs coming up, for example? Who do you guys play?
Today?
No, 3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs. I'll pull them up.
Southampton, I believe.
Right, so if we lifted the 3 p.m., the
Come on,
games
the Villa boys.
the games that we'd be missing would be Villa, Southampton, Brentford, Newcastle, Palace, and City.
Oh,
None of those are box office games. Everton, Liverpool's the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, and this is my point: is
they're
you
on
never
Saturday.
have
Everton, Liverpool, Saturday.
early kickoff Saturday. Yeah.
Oof. Good
My
luck,
point
please.
being is that it's proven that on a Sunday afternoon you get a lot more viewers than you do Saturday afternoon. People are busy with their life, right?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
going out with the kids, they've got classes, whatever it might be. So it's proven that you get more viewers on a Sunday afternoon. So the box office games are either always an early kickoff on Saturday morning, or they're on Sunday. They're on Super Sunday.
Or the late one on
and
Saturday
they're
sometimes.
televised because they want to get the viewers, or the late kickoff Saturday. So for me, no, we're gonna miss out on Wolves v Ipswich, are we? Oh no, what a shame. But so I don't think it makes much of a difference, but I do think it's about time they brought in their own streaming service. How archaic are you, man?
Yeah, I agree, and also like I concur with that, and I do think that there's going to be some fans it's going to affect, and there's going to be some fans that will rather they'll sit at home and watch the Prem game instead of going to your Stockports or your Rotherhams or whatever. But like on the whole, people love going. True football fans love going out, love going to a proper a football day, going to the ground. So I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think it's about time.
Also, if the Premier League are going to create their own streaming channel to take home more of a slice of the pie from the TV deals that they're getting at the moment, so essentially create more revenue per club, we already give money down the pyramid. So over a 12 or 18-month period, why don't we monitor what the gate sales are down by, average that out over that league, whether it be League One, National League, whatever, average that out and just add that onto the subsidiaries. I mean, for some of these clubs, you're talking maybe tens of thousands difference. For some, maybe a couple of million at the very most. But that's the scale you're talking here. You're not talking that they're going to be down 90%. And even if they are down 90%, that means they're probably a very lower league club. And you're talking maybe got 800-900 people a weekend to go, and maybe they've got 100 or 200 now. So, just subsidise them. How much is 800 tickets at 20 quid a pop? 16, is it 16 grand, 1600? 1600, 20 quid a pop, is it? No, 16 grand, I think it is.
It's I think there's going to be slight issues, but it's not going to come in for I think a few years yet. I think they're talking about, because they've got to honour the contract with the current broadcast deals, right? But
yeah, you're talking 29, 30.
Yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of time, but I do think it's time, and it's going to be interesting. But I think by then they'll have hopefully figured out some viable pathway to really get it going. So we will see. The Netflix of football, as Simon Jordan calls it.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it.
It's happening.
So, should we move on to our fun segment?
Fun segment time.
I feel like we might have aligned on this as well. We've not spoken about what we're going to cover, but I feel like just from when we were running through some of the other bits in the episode that possibly we might have clashed here. In which case, it's not bad. But would you like to explain the fun segment this week?
Yeah, the fun segment this week. Basically, look, very cautious of our mental health as two young men, and we don't speak often. So it's like, let's give ourselves some time just to vent. But we're going to vent things football. So it could be a team, it could be a player, a manager, and something that's just annoying either one of us that we just need to get off our chest, because we try and be very balanced, we try and be very diplomatic on this pod. I mean, we have honest conversations, but from time to time we just need to let loose, man. So This is our time. So you're going to go first. I'm going to give you about a minute. I'll give you a minute, and I'll let you go and just rant about whatever you want to rant about, with no interruptions from me. Just go for it, mate, and I'll be your therapist for this.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Do you know what? There's been so much going on in football. I could have picked one of many things this week, but I think something it's not even doesn't make me angry. It just irritates the hell out of me. Those stupid babbles, land them forever. Go away, West Ham fans. What do you want? What
Yeah.
do you expect? You
Oh my
whined
God.
for months and months about Moyes. Moyes goes. He won you a European Cup. You know what I mean? You've not won silver in ages. Be grateful. Now he's gone. You've got Lopetegui in, who's got a good CV. You whine. Where do you think you're meant to be? What do you think you should be doing? We need to readdress the insignificant London club table, guys, because you guys are right at the bottom of that. Where do you expect to be against Arsenal, Liverpool? You know, look at the league. Brentford are better than you, newer to the league than you as well. It's
Agreed.
just, I do not understand what they want, where they expect their club to be, and what their expectation is. Because the whinge about Moyes, he wins them something, he goes. The whinge about Lopetegui, don't give him time. Like, you're a mid-table club at best. Like, just accept it.
That brings us to a minute, and that's perfect because I'm going to jump on the back of that because my rant, right? I've got down here fun segment, a minute each rant. West Ham, what do they want?
Mate,
I'm going to echo
West Ham.
West Ham, what do you want? Same with this. Like, I'm going to echo that, Brad. So I am sick and tired of. I don't listen to Talk Sport, right? Live because of the time difference. So I'll have clips on YouTube and whatnot. I am so bored of seeing West Ham fans ranting about this. West Ham fans want this. West Ham fans don't want this. Like you've just said, you just won some silverware for the first time in like millennia. David Moyes did a solid job, consolidated you to the top half of the table, top 6, top 8 consecutively. What is it, 3 seasons? I know they had a bit of a dicey season, one of them. But like, you are doing very well. You were doing very well. You've now got an esteemed coaching, and things aren't going great right now, but give him a bit of time. You actually play well. You battered Leicester for the majority of the game, I thought. A bit too strong saying battered. They look good, though. They look good. They didn't look awful. And it's like, who do you want? And then I heard some guy talking, we'll get Michael Carrick in. Like, and to be fair, like Simon Jordan was like, okay, so how does he play? If you watch Middlesbrough, he was like, oh yeah, I've seen them play. No, you haven't. Like, none of you know what you want. I'm going to burst your little bubbles right now and say, like, you ain't going to get anybody better than Lopetegui. If you want Graham Potter, go for it, man. But he'll be out the door within a month. Sort it out, man. Sick of seeing West Ham.
Potter wouldn't go there. Just on that, I think Potter's still getting paid by Chelsea, and that's why he's not taking a job, because when he takes a job, his subsidy payments from his contract will stop. So I think that's why Potter's been so selective, because as soon as he takes another job, he doesn't get paid by Chelsea anymore, because they've probably agreed a payment plan over like 5 years, the rest of his contract. So yeah, we'll pay you out what you due, but each year, as we would have. So yeah, but there'll be a clause that probably that stops once he takes a job.
Well,
so I'm bored. He's not going to West Ham. Why'd you get whinged at with a little bubble machine at the start of each game? Oh, we can't score goals, but we can blow bubbles.
I'm so sick of that bubble machine. It's so boring. It's so annoying. It's like trying to score a goal. It's these little like, just get over it. Like they're annoying. So yeah, West Ham, like better. Fix up. I'm glad you feel better. That was I could have gone on then, and I think we both could have, but we have to rein it in as the episode's coming to a close. So yeah, that was our 2 minute 30 rant about West Ham and their expectations. You know, just be grateful for what you've got is what we're saying. And on that, we are now going to end the episode, and we're both, I think, going to enjoy as we stream right now. It's currently Wednesday, 4th of December, so we are just about to tune into our Manchester United versus Arsenal for you, Villa Brentford for me. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some positive.
Do a job against these London clubs. Come on, boys.
I actually want United to win. Can't stand Arsenal.
I want Villa to win. That's how it goes, man.
Yeah. So, thank you all very much for tuning in, whether you're listening or watching. As always, please just like, share, subscribe, and we will be back next week with another episode of the Football Brief. So, as always, pleased to brief you.
Peace out.
Bye.